Trend of today is to turbocharge small engines, while big ones often receive the more responsive alternative, the supercharger. It is mainly the case in American sports cars and muscle cars, but it is suitable for small units as well, so why not to use it here was the approach in development with the following engines, which seem to be amongst the smallest supercharged only in the car world. Toyota Previa. Besides the funky fact that the Previa is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive van, there was also a cool option in 1994 to opt for a supercharged 2TZ unit. The SC14 Charger had an electromagnetic clutch to engage or disengage it according to the load to improve fuel economy or increase performance. Mazda Millenia 2.3, 6 cylinders, 2.3 liters of displacement, a supercharger, and middle cycle. That was the Mazda Millenia S, meant to compete with the more expensive luxury cars like BMW or Lexus. The result was a relatively little fuel consuming V6 sedan with a decent dynamics, technology of which never returned because of the complexity and cost. Mazda 626 Comprex. Produced for two 626 generations, this mid-size sedan was powered by a very unique engine setup. The regular 2-liter 4-stroke diesel was supercharged by a pressure wave unit, which combines exhaust gas flow and mechanical charging. In short, the exhaust fumes pull in air, compress it, and then exits the system. A downside is that fresh air is mixed with the exhaust, and therefore also hotter intake temperature. Chevrolet Cobalt SS. The SS stands for Super Sport, and initially the car was powered by a supercharged 2-liter. Later the Turbo 2.4 came along, and after that a naturally aspirated unit was introduced. The supercharged variant was called the LSJ, sourced from the Ecotec series, boosted by the Eaton M62 with an air-to-liquid intercooler. Lancia Rallye 037. Prior to the 1982 Group B championship beginning, Lancia had to build 200 road-going examples which were less powerful, heavier, but similarly crazy as the race car. The design came from Pininfarina, and the rest was basically developed by Abarth. The 2-liter was also used in racing, however, a 2111cc version came along too. Toyota Chaser. The 1GGZE was only slightly more powerful than the NA version, but thanks to that SC14 supercharger, the torque figure raised significantly. This engine was mainly sold in JDM spec cars like the Chaser, Cresta, Crown, Soarer and Mark II with a base boost of 0.5 bar. Toyota Yaris GRMN. The newest addition to the supercharged small cars would be the Toyota Yaris GRMN by Gazoo Racing. It has the 2ZR unit with dual VVTi and Eaton type supercharger. Shame is that Toyota will only produce a very limited amount of them, even though demand is high and journalists love it with its throaty sound. Mercedes-Benz SLK 200 compressor. Mercedes and supercharging goes hand in hand. Well, at least in the past it was the case, even though they prefer turbochargers nowadays. Their history is full of supercharged engines with those large V8s, but also engines as small as 1800cc. That was the M271 series, but there was also a 2 and 2.3 liters sold. Lotus Elise. The 2ZZGE is a good engine, a VTEC like by Toyota with the Yamaha head. However, it was either Toyota or Lotus who decided to mount a supercharger on it and power not only the Lotus Elise and Exige with it, but also a hot hatch, the Toyota Corolla Kompressor. The supercharger was the Eaton M45. Volkswagen Corrado G60. Developed from a smaller version, the G60 was based on existing EA111 engine series, being modified so much that it is often referred as a new series. Some of them would be the forged crankshaft and side-mounted intercooler, besides the scroll-type supercharger with a 60mm inlet, which produces a very distinctive whining sound. Mini Cooper S. powered by a Brazilian engine. The Mini Cooper S is a true-pocket rocket. The S was later upgraded into a JCW with over 200 horsepower, tuned from the Tritec engine with the Eaton M45 supercharged unit. Shamefully, its successor received a turbo. Toyota MR2. The GZ variant of the 4A was pretty much the same as the naturally aspirated one. The block, head, timing, ports and even head gasket were the same, and besides that, there were forged pistons and that SC12 supercharging unit pushing 0.6 bar inside. Volkswagen Polo G40. Considering purely supercharged cars, the Polo G40 may have the smallest engine amongst them. The G40 suggests that the G-ladder unit had a displacer spiral diameter of 40 mm. The G-ladder was developed to be trouble and maintenance free, which eventually it wasn't. You see, there are more of them, like the Volkswagen 1.4 TSI or Nissan MA09 ERT, but those are supercharged and turbocharged at the same time. If you know a good example for this list, type it down in the comment section. Having enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, because there is much more interesting topics coming. Cheers!